afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to April's Fearless Friday panel discussion. I am super excited for several reasons, right? Number one, we have another amazing panel, and I bet you're thinking, like, Tab, like, how have you found 3 months worth of amazing people? And I mean, the only answer I have is like Al Gore's internet, right? That's one answer. God's another answer, and then the third answer is something that I talk about a lot, and that's relationship building. Some of these panels have had people that I've known for many years, people I've known for a short time, and then people I have no clue how we met. Someone shared a post or told a person, and they landed here in this ecosystem of greatness. And so I am eternally grateful for the relationships that continue to build as a result of the work that we get to do in this world. And so I won't prolong things. We're going to go ahead and get this started. If you have not tuned in for a Fearless Friday discussion, I challenge you this weekend to go back and listen to the recaps from February, where we did two in one day. We did one at 2 p.m. that day and one at 7 p.m. And then in March, we did one at 2 p.m. on the fourth Friday. They have all been phenomenal, and I have no doubt in my mind that today is going to be just the same. So I'm going to bring on five amazing ladies to introduce themselves to you all, and we're going to get this party started on this good old Friday afternoon. And so we are going to just go in screen order and introduce ourselves. So I'm going to throw the mic off of me and give it to you ladies to introduce yourself in the way that you see most fit.
Oh, am I first? All right. So, hi. My name is Akini Joy. I am the Badass Mom Coach. I am so glad to get connected with everybody today. Yes, 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 yes. I love what I do. I teach regular moms, moms who are really struggling with anxiety, depression, who are just feeling low and just not themselves. I work with a lot of women who are feeling stuck and women who are just really struggling with postpartum. I also wrote 2 journals, for women who are struggling. So I love working with moms. I really teach them and pull them out so they can become badasses. So thank you so much for having me here. And I look forward to meeting everybody and being a part of this experience.
Awesome. I'll go first. I know we all out of order according to my screen, but I'm going to jump in. Hey, everybody. I'm Lenita Holston. I'm founder of Excellence Brainery. We coach students to develop a graduation post-productivity plan that will ultimately align them with their dream career and make those like you behind this camera, make them uber proud. Outside of that, I am an author of 3 books, with my latest project being The Pursuit of Black Excellence for Teens. I believe there's excellence in everything, every time. That's my personal motto. It's rooted in Ecclesiastes 9:10 that says, whatever you fix your hands to do, you better do with all that might. And so that's a little bit about me. Obviously, I love working with young men and young women. I'm very called. I understand the assignment. I'm very called to do that work. And I'm excited to be here to join y'all for some good girl chat.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. Hey, ladies, and hey, everybody else. My name is Renisha Willis. Feel free to call me Ronnie. I am a registered travel nurse. However, what I do in regards to business is help people create passive income through multiple investment options, things like crypto, but mainly day trading in the foreign exchange market. So, and it's the year of the 7-figure female lady. So we're going to talk about that as well. So super happy to be here and excited about this conversation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tanisha Hamer. I am the owner of Official Boss Vault. That is a women's boutique. I am also a South Carolina licensed hair braider. I have currently branched off to a pop-up shop host and also a host of women empowerment events.
Hey ladies, I am Daylin Hare. I'm the owner of Essential Time and Solutions, which is a virtual assistant and business consulting firm. So I offer only administrative services, no social media management anymore. I had to step away from that. So administrative services, I also help build websites and landing pages and ClickFunnels and things like that. And then I also do business consulting, where I work with small business owners look at their processes and see how we can increase revenue or see if they are skipping any steps in the process. So that is who I am. And I am excited to talk with you ladies about transition because we've all been through them.
Yes, we have. So before we start talking about transition, and you ladies have done exactly what I want you to do. We had like a few little spots of awkward silence, but whatever. We're going with the flow. And that is going with the flow, having a conversation, allowing things to go naturally and to just jump in and give your input. So we are going to start with the question that we have started with every time, no matter the theme. And that is, when you think of Black womanhood, what comes to mind? What comes to mind? And I'm gonna pop it to let's see, I'm gonna pop it to Ronnie first, and then everybody jump in as you will.
I knew you was coming for me, but when you first asked that, the first thing I thought of was strength, because we endure a lot and we have to encounter a lot. So when it comes to the Black womanhood, there's certain things that we have to be able to have strength for in regards to the many hats that we wear, our positions in society and business. So I would have to say strength for sure, because I know my mama is a Black strong woman, right? My sisters are Black strong women. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind, strength.
I'm going to follow that, and I'm going to say power. When I think of Black womanhood, I ultimately think of my mom as well. And while all of I can't speak for you all, but I'll speak for me. Obviously, all of my family members, they have their imperfections. But one thing that is for certain, okay, the level of resilience in that woman, impeccable. And I'm a big advocate on loving others through their imperfections. That does not negate the love that they have for you, even in their imperfection. And so I'm going to go with the word power.
I'm going to follow it up with grace for sure, because we are all strong and powerful. However, we also are graceful in the things that we do. You know, we might have to help you out in the beginning, but it's all done in grace, you know. And also, I think that's one thing that we need to learn to lean into is grace as Black women too, because, you know, sometimes we have to take off that strong cap and just, you know, lean into grace and give ourselves a moment to kind of regroup and come back to it.
I had the same word as power as well. Just from experience, we have to have the power, and it seems like if we don't, everything comes crashing down. So Black womanhood, we hold the power. We are it. Everything, I feel like everything around me is in my power. Now, we may lose power sometimes, but we can't stay there long. A woman cannot stay without power long. We got to get back up. We got to keep it moving, because if we do not, things are starting to fall. And that's how it is as a strong Black woman and my family. So I look at it as power as well.
I think my sister hit the word right on the head when she said resilience. Like, that is just a part of who we are. Just life comes, you know, things have happened. And I think resilience is one of the things that when I think about, you know, Black women, we wear so many hats. We're mother, lover, wife, you know, cooker, cleaner, boo-boo kisser, you know, we do so much and we're spread in so many different directions that we just have to become resilient, sometimes to our detriment. So, you know, that's when we really have to work on balance and self-care in that. But I think one thing that I definitely believe is just who we are, is we're just resilient. You know, the wind will come, we'll blow, and then we'll get back up because we have to do it.
Don't we? Amazing words and amazing descriptions. And you did it like that, just giving a word and really diving into what that looks like. So as we kind of transition to talking about transitions, I'm going to throw this one to Lanita first to talk about a time where you had to embrace transition, and how did you navigate this time?
Oh, okay. I would say the first transition that really showed me that resiliency was a muscle was when I had to move back home with my parents as an adult. And the move was as a result of making poor financial decisions. I had incurred $50,000 in debt in addition to the debt I already had. And I was working 4 part-time jobs and a full-time job. And I was in the state of depression. Like, it was very clear. And I thought depression was for crazy people. Excuse my ignorance, but I did at that time. And I was young. I was in my early 20s. And I got to see it for myself. I got to see what it was like to be randomly have bursts of sadness to the point where you're in tears randomly. I got to see what it felt like to not have any energy, no matter how much rest you got. It was very real. And I was the kind of person like, I cannot stay here. Like, somebody, I gotta get up out of here. So when you say transition, to me, it was accepting in my mind that if I wanted to be and stay there in that place mentally, physically, and financially, I could. But if I wanted to get out of that place, I could. And so that transition looked like hiring a coach. And we worked for about 6 weeks. And in the process, I was writing, I was journaling, and that began like the outline of my first book. And that's literally how my the work with young people began to like take off. So it was my moment of acknowledging where I was, then having some accountability, getting connected to purpose, and slowly but surely that little like lack of energy, disengagement, feelings of sadness, slowly but surely, progressively, you started to see them dissipate. And I promised myself that I would never make those kinds of decisions that I can control to get me back into that place. But it's good to be in those places because I have a better heart and empathy for others when I'm working with population. So that was definitely a season of transition for me.
All right. Mom Coach, you want to come on us next?
Absolutely. So I think the major transition that I had, it was a personal transition, and it was a transition of becoming a mother. I often think back of when I first wrote my first journal book, and I had a poem in there where it's like, look, I was at the height of my life. I was, I had pledged in my sorority. I had my line sisters. I had my friends. I had everything. And my life just went bottoms up when I had my son. It was such a shock to me, like, wait a second. Where'd everybody go? Where's all my support systems? Where everybody thought he was so cute. Who was going to help me? How was I going to do this? So that was a major transition that I went through, and that brought upon my own research and my own interest in becoming a mom coach, so that moms don't have to go through what I had to go through, and realize that there is hope. Here I was a licensed clinician still struggling because I wasn't practicing what I was preaching, and just really embracing that transition, learning, growing, praying, crying, all of that. But it helped me become who I am today, that experience. And I love being able to share and give back to other moms because it's such a major transition. It's a special transition, and it needs to be handled gracefully. Yeah. So that was it.
Okay, I'll go. Can I talk about 2 instances, Tab?
Have at it.
The first one I think would be transitioning out of full-time my career as a travel nurse. I do that part-time and transitioning into full-time investing. And so we know, guys, having a job, which nothing is wrong with that, but when you step away from that security of that every 2-week paycheck, it's like, oh man, like my next move, my results, things that come after this is really on me, not based off of me clocking in and just showing up. And so it was a transition. I wouldn't say a scary one, but it really allowed me to really, I would say, quote unquote, pop out because I'm very family oriented. I would go to my parents about everything, but this is one of those things where I had to make the decisions. I had to really dig deep into my vision and my goals. So it really allowed me to grow as an individual, become a little bit more independent in regards to, okay, well, now you have to figure it out and show up, right, for yourself, not necessarily for your career. So I still enjoy nursing when I actually do it and go out of state, but being able to go into investing full time definitely was a transition, not only mentally as far as discipline, but financially in regards to, okay, well, it's not going to come like clockwork no more. I got to make sure I'm creating this income, right? And then I'm actually currently going through a transition. I'm engaged and get married in October. So I'm transitioning from independency. Well, I don't say independency, but flowing into a union. And so a lot of the time, majority of my life is like, as long as I'm good, I'm straight. But now I have to consider working as a unit. I have to consider effective communication, lifelong partnership, things of that nature. So some of the things I'm doing is, premarital counseling, and we're learning different tools on how to really not, once we have the wedding day, because, I got to put it out there, our generation is everything's cute on social media, but my parents have a background of 30 plus years of marriage. So I really do take it seriously. So transitioning from a single woman into marriage definitely it's a fun process so far, right? So I'm enjoying that, learning from others who've experienced it, who are still experiencing it, and, just taking the proper steps to make sure I can do my end, do my part, and we can continue to grow as a couple. So that's my piece.
I love that. I'll hop in here next because mine is similar to Ronnie's. Biggest transition is leaving higher education after 9 years and just focusing on my business full time as of March. The process was hard for sure. Kind of like one of those things when someone across from the table say, "Hey, this is your only option here." It's like, who, me? My only option? No, because Black women, we make so at that point, I knew I needed to make my exit plan, and I did. That was last summer, and I said March 1st, I will be a full-time entrepreneur. March 1st got here, I was still trucking along, and I feel like the Lord was like, "Okay, we said March 1st. Why are you still here?" And 2 weeks later was my last day at my full-time position. And doing entrepreneurship, it is different. It's not my first time. I was an entrepreneur before I met my husband. So, Ronnie, that transition into marriage, you kind of let go some things and pick up some things. So when we got married, I did go ahead and work full-time. But he's been very supportive. If this is what you want to do, I know that you can do it. He's not concerned about it working. But when I made my exit plan, I knew that I would not leave my full-time job until my business could compensate my salary plus more. And, with prayer and, going through all of my prayer and just talking and manifesting, my business has taken off. It does really well. So it allowed me to leave my full-time job after 9 years to do this full-time.
My transition is similar to Ranisha's as well. My transition happened in October when I left my full-time job to become a full-time entrepreneur. And I won't sit here and story, I did not have an exit plan. I was wore out. I had to go. I was wore out. I was mentally, I wasn't mentally there. It's like I clocked out of the job and I just wasn't performing at my best. So I was like, it's time for me to go. But I did understand that God was pushing me out because I've been actually in business since 2015, but I haven't taken it seriously. And I always said, I want to be a full-time entrepreneur. And God like, come on, girl, come on, you got it. And I always resisted. So I had to mentally kind of lose myself at that 9 to 5 to actually believe that I could be a full-time entrepreneur. And it's been going well since. We ain't failed yet, so we're gonna keep on going. And then just that transition of the first day when I woke up from leaving that job, I'm like, okay, girl, that paycheck ain't coming every 2 weeks. What you about to do? So it's like, it's just a thought process. I had to go through the feelings. I had to go through the motions of who are you? What is inside of you? What do people want from you? So it was just a process of finding myself just to see or understand what I had to offer for the world. And so it's been going good since. I'm not giving up yet. It's hard. So basically that was my transition. And I'm still in the transition for my boutique. that has been the hardest part. The fashion industry, it changes a lot. So I've been battling with do I offer what I like, or do I offer what my target audience like? So it's just been a battle in between those two. I'm kind of in the median, and I'm kind of figuring out, okay, this is not working, but this has. So it's just a process of elimination and the process of trying different things. Me, I start over as many times as I have to. That's always been me. I'm not giving up at all. So as many times as I have to transition, we gonna transition. So that's it for me.
Yes, ladies, for these stories, I want to first thank you so much for sharing so transparently, because oftentimes we go through the transition and then it's happening, and then it's like, months will pass or weeks will pass, years will pass, and we're like, wait, how did I even get through that thing? Or what actually happened to me while I was going through that thing? And what are some things that I can pull out from transition to then develop skills that are going to be timeless for me and also timeless for people that I serve, whether directly or indirectly, because there's someone always watching and feeding off of the things that we do and that we put into the world. So my question that I'm gonna go a little different than when I actually sent them. So if they beat me up after this, y'all, I'll tell y'all about it. But what I want to do is make sure we're leaving people with practical things that they can pick up, tangible to this, similar to this mouse, and say, I'm going to go and do that. So what are some practical things, tips, tools, resources that from these periods of transition, right? You made plans to exit your jobs, or you woke up and was like, I'm an entrepreneur. I got it. I'm going to eat what I kill. Or, whoa, that was a lot of debt. I got to make a plan to get up out of there. Oh, snap. That's a kid that I got to take care of. Like, oh, okay. Oh, wow. This is a nice ring, but now I got to operate with you together for the rest of our lives. Like, what are we going to do? So if you ladies will share some practical tips, tricks, resources, sites, hacks, not hacks, because just do it. There's really no hacks in life. But share some things that have worked to help you all as you transition through various things in your lives.
I'll start with this one. I do talk a lot about entrepreneurship on my social media account. So, transitioning into entrepreneurship is not just, I'm going to wake up one day and I'm going to be an entrepreneur. You want to make sure that your business is legal, get your LLC. You'll hear a lot of people say you don't need an LLC. That's correct. You don't need one. However, if you want to protect your name and your personal assets and get a business checking account and all of that stuff, you need an LLC to operate. So in the legal aspect, get an LLC, get your EIN directly from the IRS, open up a business checking account. That way you're not commingling funds. And also make sure that you have marketing in place. How are you going to market your brand on social media? How are you going to sell your products or get clients so that you can offer your services? For me, I had to set up my pricing and packaging for it to make sense for me and my time. So that way, it's not overkill and all I'm doing is working when I wanted to exit. So I knew how many clients I needed at what price point in order to be able to leave. And then I knew in order to increase revenue to offer one-off projects. That way I'm not consistently just focusing on clients, but I also have projects that I can work on as well. So, make sure that you have your business legal if you want to transition to entrepreneurship like I did, but also have a marketing and pricing strategy in place so that you know what it takes in order to reach your goal so that you can make that transition when it's time for you to do so.
I would say from the financial standpoint, if you are someone who is looking to get a little bit more balance with managing your money, the best thing that I did during that time was increase the amount of money I was earning, which is why I was working those part-time jobs. Sometimes, you really don't have the capacity to do that just based on your emotional state or your other responsibilities if you're a caregiver for children or older or aging adults. So that varies. But what I did practically was write down every one of my accounts that I owed money to. And this was in like a Google Doc. I made columns: account name, due date, interest rate, minimum payment, and then the end balance. And then I organized them by due date. And I will split them up via pay period, split up the due date payment. Like this joint got real, like detailed because I had to see what I was responsible for. So what I would do was the minimum payment that I had to pay at the end of the month was my revenue goal for that month. So that kind of determined the activity that I was doing to meet the financial obligations. But essentially, I would just create a spreadsheet to write out all of those things, and then just stay up to date and making sure you're meeting those minimum payments. And if you have the option of adding ways to make money on top of that, doing Uber Eats, doing Uber, picking up scooters, looking for ways to increase your monthly revenue, that definitely helps to speed up the process.
I'm gonna go a little bit a different route, or somewhat in the sense of mindset. So affirmations, I know it sounds cliche, but it's a big deal for me. I have a whole notebook where I take about 10, 15 minutes and write down, and maybe some of the same things, maybe different, but you'd be surprised where the things that you're speaking is really a seed that you're planting. And it's so easy in our society, and I really think in entrepreneurship, especially in transitional stages, to get distracted. And so if you're reminding yourself of your vision every single day, even in the hard times, the times you're confused, the times where you're like, man, I'm over this, right? You got to remember why you even started. So writing those affirmations keeps me afloat, y'all, because every day is not pretty. I'd be like, okay, what about the stripping again? Can I try that? Like, can I try? Y'all know y'all ever had those thoughts like, I'm over, let me just go do, you know what I'm saying? Not really, y'all, but I'm not gonna do that. But it's just those thoughts where you're just like, I'm over it. So having those affirmations is super important. Then I would say a calendar. I posted something similar. I'm a type of person, I have to write it down. I know we're big on technology nowadays, but I rarely use my calendar on my phone. I still got to write it down on an actual calendar. But there's a difference between being productive and busy. You can be productive and not necessarily busy, but then you can be busy but not productive. So it's just like you find yourself doing the same, you have the same agenda every day because you feel like you're doing work because you're taking up time. But really write down the things that will take you to the next step in your process, to whether it's developing a business, paying off debt, whatever the case may be. Even if it's working out, make a plan. You know what? Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to get up at 8 o'clock. You might need to write it down. Get an expo marker, put it on your mirror in your bathroom. So it kind of goes back and forth between affirmations, writing that down, and then just being intentional with your time, because time is not really on our side, guys. So you really want to maximize the time we do have. So, just get it done. And if you need to, get your accountability partner so you can really be that productive person.
Absolutely. Such good information. And also, if I can just piggyback on everybody, it's you have to have a plan. I even wrote it down. You have to have your affirmations. But I think for me, it's just trusting myself and deciding that I can get this done. So trusting that, okay, if I really followed my purpose in life, and if this is something that I'm really interested in doing, trusting that you have to make it has to work, not being afraid of failure, because failure is a part of success. We fail and then we succeed. We have to figure this thing out. So really just trusting. I know for me, it was trusting myself that my business will be successful, that my people are waiting for me, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And every day, along with those affirmations, just trusting that this I decided that this is the way it has to be, so it's going to work, and it's going to work. And then what I found is I had to prove myself right, so then it worked. So if I can just encourage anybody just to trust yourself, write those affirmations, get in that right mindset, and do it. And it has to work, and it will.
Since I'm product-based business, I will go into pricing. This is one big lesson I had to learn with pricing. Don't be afraid to charge a price. I struggled with that for a long time because I was people pleasing, you would say. Who does she think she is? Why does she feel like her product is worth that much? Don't be afraid to charge your price, but at the same time, with your prices and with your brand, make sure that you are positioning those products to where it will be worth the price that you're charging as well. So the quality, the purpose of the product, just make sure that you're charging what it's worth, because I ran myself in circles for about 2 months with pricing, and it was not getting me anywhere. But I had to also be honest with yourself. I had to be honest with myself that my quality was not where I wanted it to be. So now that I found that perfect vendor, my quality of my clothing is amazing, and I'm able to charge what it's worth. And also I'm doing more of positioning it to where I can charge those prices. So don't be afraid if nobody seem like nobody's supporting at that moment. Hold on firm to your prices, but also make sure that it matches what you're marketing and what you're branding to social media or however you sell your products. Just make sure that your marketing matches your prices.
So plans, honesty, just integrity, if you will. Some key themes that I'm pulling out from the things that you ladies have shared as practical tips that people can use. So whether it's you planning your exit strategy, whether that's you planning how you're going to navigate new additions to your life, whether that's you planning how you're going to reposition yourself or how you're going to market something that you're putting out into the marketplace, you're gonna have to have a plan. Y'all know I love talking strategy, so you're gonna have to have one, because otherwise you just aimlessly, I love to say, we all can drive. We have a license, right? I'm gonna assume everybody has one that I'm talking to today, but if not, you get in a car, right, and you're going somewhere. Either you know how to get there because you've been a few times, or you have no clue. If you don't put anything into the GPS, you're not going anywhere. you're just driving. And let's just say you say, oh, I don't need a GPS because I know how to get there. Well, you get 10 miles into the trip and there's a detour, right? And there's no signage, there's no routing to get you where you need to go. What are you going to have to do? Put it in the GPS. And so as we are building things for our lives, put them in a GPS so that you can get that roadmap. And what we know about GPS is it'll spit out on average, or Waze, Siri, Google Maps, whichever one you use. Typically, they'll give us like 3 or 4 different ways that we can get to that destination. It'll tell us, the different time frames and things like that. The different things. You may go highway, you may go through some trees. This one may try to take you down. I live in the middle of nowhere, so sometimes I'll put something in GPS. I'll get on the route and it's trying to take me down a dirt road or something. I'm like, oh no, that looks like no man's land. I'm gonna keep driving, right? But what the key theme there is that I put it in the GPS. And so without a plan, without a strategy, without a roadmap, we're all just kind of aimlessly going. And that's not, I don't think our transitions would respect us. The things that we've been through, it's a disrespect to those critical times that we talked about for us to then aimlessly just go into the future. And so that's kind of my impartation from what we gathered here today. So ladies, if you will, share with the people. And Miss Daylin, we are going to begin with you. Share with the people, how can they connect with you after this, and then drop one final gem for the folks that are listening today. And I want to shout you out because I think that you've tuned in to every single Fearless Friday up to this point. And so I'm super excited to have you on the stage today. I also remember our conversation in October at an event that I ended up at because you told me I could come because relationships matter. We were just talking about what we were doing. We both happened to be in Atlanta. It ended up being a beautiful event. And you said you were leaving and you were building out that plan. Here we are. And so it works. The plans work, you all. So I'm gonna switch it over to you to let the people know once again what you do, how to connect with you, and then drop a final gem for the folks.
All right, so I'm Daylin Hare. I'm the owner of Essential Time & Solutions, which is a virtual assistant and business consulting firm. You can find me on Instagram at Essential Time & Solutions _ So right as you see it on the screen, it's where you can find me. You can also connect with me there, DM me, whatever. I answer all kind of questions all day long, pretty much. But if I could leave you with anything, it's definitely create the plan and work the steps. You can't create the plan and expect to arrive at the end. You have to work the steps in the plan that you create. And also that you miss every shot that you don't take. So always bet on yourself, because if you don't, who else will?
All right, Lanita, I'm going to throw it to you.
I love that. You speaking to me right now, Dalen. Thank you. Create the plan and follow the step is the work for me. Um, I leave every space that I'm in with the same message, and that is whatever you decide that you're going to do, doesn't matter how small, insignificant you may think it is, whatever you decide to show up in, participate in, volunteer for, create, lead, grow, it should always be done with a level of excellence. And that's your highest quality of effort. Excellence is just your highest quality of effort. It's a commitment of saying, if I'm showing up my best, even if I do not feel like it, because I said I was going to be there. When I show up, my job is to represent my best self. And so that would be my words to anybody who is watching today. We do that with our families. We do that with the things that God placed us, given us like access to, because as quickly as He gave it to us, He could take it away. Our job of saying that I'm grateful is to just handle it the best that we can. And if you'd like to stay in touch, my name is Lanita Holston on every platform. And thank you again, Tad, for having me for today's Fearless Friday.
All right, Ronnie, we're going to throw it to you.
I guess the order is different on everybody's screen. But my name is Ronisha. Call me Ronnie. I have an investment business where I help educate people on how to properly invest on the largest, most liquid financial markets there are. So definitely you can link with me in regards to creating additional passive income. Something I will leave with you is, in everything you do, operate out of love and trust God. And everything that success is on the other side of everything you don't feel like doing, right? So you can find me on Facebook, Renisha L. Willis. My middle name is actually Lanita. Hey, Lanita. So Renisha L. Willis on Facebook, and All Things Ronnie on Instagram. And I look forward to actually connecting with all you ladies here and everybody else that's tuning in.
All right, I'll hop on in. Thank you so much for having me. I really had so much fun today. If I have one thing that I want every woman, every mom to take away, is please take care of yourself. We do some, even as entrepreneurs, we're all over the place, and our brains are going here. I have to do this. I have to go there. And we're all over the place, but we have to do better about really stopping and take better care of ourselves. So think of it this way: in a 24-hour day, you can give yourself an hour to do something that pours back into you. Think of that: 24 hours, 1 hour to take care of you. So I'm Mom Coach Akimi. I help moms who are struggling with finding their purpose, finding their voice, who are feeling anxious, who are feeling low, and I will turn you into a badass, because we truly are badass women. We just need somebody to pull it out of us, and that's what I do. You can find me at Instagram, help the number 4 mommies, and my Facebook group is Mom Coach Akimi Joy. I also have a website, Akimi Joy, AKEMI Joy, JOI. Yeah, that's how we spell my name. .com. And last thing I'm gonna give you, I have a giveaway on my website. I have a short video, it's only like 20 minutes, on 5 principles that all moms need in order to be a badass mom. It's a free video that I have created for all moms. You need these 5 things in order to be a badass mom. Thank you so much for having me, and I definitely look forward to connecting with each and every one of you.
One thing that I will leave with everyone today is my favorite saying: don't stay there. Look, we're going to go through ups, we're going to go through downs, good times, bad times, tears, laughter, everything, because life is life. So don't stay there. Whenever you're feeling down, whenever you feel like you can't make it, whenever you feel like you're lonely, take your moment. But please do not stay there, because there is power in getting up and doing what you have to do for you. I have been one individual that had to do a lot of fending for myself. So I am a firm believer of do not stay there, because if I would have stayed in some of the situations and places that I was in, I would not be who I am today or where I am today. You can reach me on Facebook at Tanisha Hamer, my business page on Facebook and IG is Official Boss Vault. And then my braiding page is Braids by Neek. I also offer one-on-one braiding classes. If you want to host a pop-up shop or need my assistance with pop-up shops, you can reach me at Tanisha Hamer on my personal page. And I've also gotten into, I would say, freelance assistance. I have been told that when I'm around, everything's okay. And I love that God gave me that spirit. I'll fix it. I don't know how. Sometimes I don't know how I know. If it's a computer issue, if it's anything, it's like I get into it and I'm focused and it's okay. So anything, any kind of business events that anyone has, if you need guidance, I'm here because I'm going to figure it out and we can figure it out together. So I am starting to offer that in May. May is my birthday month, so I'm popping out with it. So y'all can reach me at Tanisha Hamer, and I do a lot on my personal page. That's because everybody's just there. Like I said, my business page for Official Boss Vault, that's on IG and Facebook, and then my braiding page is Braids by Neek.
Awesome, ladies. Well, I want to once again thank you so much for your yes. Your yes has meant a lot to me on a Friday afternoon when you were doing several other things. You decided to come on and chop it up with me and these amazing ladies about embracing transition, and you were transparent, you were thorough, and you also dropped practical tips. I am elated that we made it through these 3. When I started this, I said we're gonna do 3 months. And after that, we'll decide what the next gonna be. But we're gonna make it through the 3 months, and we have, and it's been an amazing experience with full of amazing gems from women from various industries. And that was something that I was very focused on as we were looking for people, just people from various backgrounds, because you never know who's listening, who's tuning in, or who will find this on YouTube in 3 years. And it's like, I needed to hear that at this very time, at this very moment. So thank y'all. If I could leave with one final gem or nugget, it's one it's not necessarily mine, but I've said it so many times that I like it, but I just don't know who to give the quote to, and it is that going the extra mile is never crowded. So go there, hang out there, make it your hangout spot, make it somewhere that you frequent, because most people will just do the bare minimum, and then you'll have people that'll be right at average. But going the extra mile is never crowded. There's never a traffic jam. When you, going back to my GPS analogy, there's never a traffic jam when you go the extra mile. So go there, stay there, and make it somewhere that you frequent. So you all have a beautiful rest of your weekend, and thank you all so much for tuning in with us for April's Fearless Friday.